Well guys, as the time of recording this, it's October 30th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and it looks to be a door closed on something that we've been so hyped for all year. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. We're obviously saying one last hurrah to Switch 2. I know some of you guys are so excited for this, and I know some of you guys are a little let down. And I know a lot of people are excited because of how much we've been covering this console. And to be completely honest with you, it's just been pure hype. As a Nintendo fan, I have never been able to really experience a brand new console lineup with games on day one and be able to record it and cover it and talk about it with you guys. It's always been me and myself and maybe my dad or maybe my younger brother, but to be able to do it with you guys is something new and special. And I've just been looking so forward to this, seeing the next 3D Mario after it's been 8 years almost, seeing the next Mario Kart after almost a decade. I just really want to see what's next. And of course, it looks like it's time to finally close the door on Nintendo Switch being revealed in 2024. Yes, that means I am done with rumors, I am done with leaks, I am done with them all, because apparently every single one is wrong. They're always wrong, and it looks like no one has any sort of inside source when it comes to Switch 2, not even an ounce. No, that's not a pun, because the code name of Switch 2 is Ounce. Anyways, moving on. It seemed as if yesterday was our last potential chance to get anything announced for a Switch 2 reveal, because now we're moving into Halloween, we're moving into election week next week, and the investors meeting, and a Mario and Luigi Brothership announcement. And after that, it's just all holiday. You know, it's holiday season. It's time to really focus on what's coming this year still, and everything that's coming out, and the sales, and the Switch bundles with Mario Wonder. A lot of people are just pretty much closing the door. And I've closed the door since I pretty much was wrong at the beginning of October, end of September. And I've just pretty much jumped on Team 2025 since then. I had no hope for this week. And it just seems like Nintendo has this different plan than what people are thinking they're going to have. Well, things started moving again and people started claiming things. We heard PH Brazil said at least he thought it was going to happen on Monday or Tuesday. Well, clearly nothing happened. So yeah, I think it's time to stop listening to what people are saying and start just waiting. You know, at the end of the day, Piero also kind of did some things that seemed as if he was getting ready for something, changing his bio to just the eyes emoji, which matched the whole ukulele trailer and them hinting at what the next console was going to be called. He also changed his banner to the Alarmo, that Nintendo clock, and we don't know why. The only thing we actually got announced was I am super excited for Xenoblade fans, because they finally got Xenoblade X, which is a game that's been tragically left on the Wii U for so long, and finally is now coming to Nintendo Switch. And I am so happy for them to have all these games on one console now, and you can actually throw your Wii U away now. Probably not if you got a couple of games like Star Fox Zero, Nin10doland Land. Keep your Wii U. Keep your Wii U. Don't throw that thing away. Mine's like a giant virtual console machine anyway, so I'll probably be keeping it forever. I'm getting off track. Anyway, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is coming out next year in March. But it tells us a lot, and it gave us pretty much a shot in the chest for Nintendo Switch 2 fans and anticipators. It really hurt. So why does the Xenoblade Chronicles X announcement hurt? Well, all the rumors, once again, rumors, they're stupid, were saying that the console was expected to come early next year, around March or April, and this is maybe telling us that's not the case. In fact, it might be telling us that we have to wait a lot longer because that slate is now already filled with a game for March of next year. Now, it's very well possible that it could still be April the month after, because the rumors are implying that Switch 1 is not going to be abandoned, and we don't need rumors to tell us that Nintendo is going to continue to give the Switch 1 games and support those owners and not completely abandon them immediately. So we could be getting the Switch 2 dropping like in the midst of Switch 1 games dropping as well. This tells me that we're probably going to need to wait until summer at the very earliest until we actually have our hands on Switch 2. And in fact, I'm going to even say there's a possibility we could be going into holiday of next year still not having this thing, meaning that we're gonna have to wait till probably a year from now, almost close to Christmas time, until we can actually get to play Switch 2, which I know sounds absolutely absurd. A whole nother year of remakes, remasters, and ports and smaller titles until we can get to this next console and the big games. Oh, it just sounds like a nightmare even thinking about it. But man, it just raises so many questions to me. After I go back and look at that initial announcement on Twitter, why did Nintendo even say anything about the fiscal year? Why didn't they just say, we'll announce this thing next year or early next year? Why didn't they set expectations correctly? And I feel like that's the thing that's really making people upset, is saying that we had from May all the way until March of 2025 for an announcement. So clearly it could be any time, but knowing Nintendo, of course, it's going to be at the end. And I had a pit in my stomach telling me that the way that they worded that, it really sounded like they didn't have anything planned for this year, because they would have just said this year, or if it was for sure next year, they would have said next year. The fiscal year thing, it was just a weirdly worded thing that got people's expectations way too high. And if they've never even announced this, we probably wouldn't even been going Switch 2 crazy like we were. And I know people are going to say, well, they said fiscal year. You just have to wait. But then it makes me wonder again, why did they do some weird things this year? Why have multiple presentations at the end of August that was like a partner direct and an indie world, and it was all shoved at that last week of August, also with the Nintendo Museum Direct and stuff? Why do that when you had nothing in September, nothing in October, and it looks like nothing for the rest of the year? In fact, you could have even made a mini direct if you wanted to with some first-party games. Showed us more of the games coming out, like Mario & Luigi Brothership. Show us more of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, and even announced Xenoblade Chronicles X. They could finally give us some more information on Metroid Prime 4. I mean, this isn't even about Switch 2. It's just really confusing why Nintendo decided to be completely quiet this holiday season and say essentially nothing. The fact that they're pretty much having a Twitter direct right now as we speak and just announcing things on Twitter. Like they just announced Xenoblade Chronicles X out of nowhere online. Why do that when you could have had a little presentation? That's what confuses me the most. It's like, if you're not going to have a direct and you're not going to reveal Switch 2, then what are we doing? Why are we spreading out the calendar year, the holiday season months, as if you're gearing up for something and just you're doing nothing? I mean, genuinely, I cannot figure this one out. It's not just rumors for the reason why people were expecting a Switch 2 announcement soon. I mean, seriously, if Nintendo just gave us a general direct in September or even in October, or even a mini direct with some first-party details, I wouldn't have been expecting Switch 2 information as much as I have been. It's just been so unbelievably quiet, and not having a Nintendo Direct since June is going to be really painful to wait until possibly January or February, or knowing Nintendo, they might make us wait to the very, very tail end of that fiscal year being in March, which just, once again, sounds like a nightmare. Now, I am hoping that I'm wrong, but I feel like there's like a 2% chance that there still could be something coming in the next couple of days, and maybe there's something that we're just not seeing and Nintendo's being completely bizarre. If I'm wrong, dude, I'll take this video down. I'll be so excited. But it's very, very, very slight that I'm wrong about this one, because I just don't see what other time frame that they have to have any type of Switch 2 showing or reveal or presentation or anything like that. For instance, I think the only two potentials lie between the investors meeting and PRO. And let me explain what I mean. PRO didn't seem surprised by the Xenoblade Chronicles X announcement. Instead just said, yep, it happened or whatever, and is alluding to something else still happening. In fact, he's even replying to some comments, people saying, is this something else that could be coming? And he responds no to each one. Someone also asked if the Pokemon trading card game announcement thing was it, and he said no. And then someone said literally two scenarios. One, a Twitter direct with random shadow drops started. 2, it's only Xenoblade Chronicles X and no more news until November 5th or 2025. And all PRO says is there's a little more. Of course, I've read comments of people suggesting that little more is referring to ounce, since ounce is a little bit, and that's the codename of Switch 2. Are they referring to Switch 2? Oh my gosh! No, I extremely doubt it. I really do think it's just maybe a couple more smaller scale games that are going to be announced for next year. Maybe a Wii U game, you know, some type of port, remake, or remaster or something. Or maybe it's something bigger. You know, maybe I am wrong, because once again, I still can't figure out what this clock means and what the eyes mean. I mean, this has absolutely nothing to do with Xenoblade, unless it's referring to another game that just hasn't been announced yet, and he claims that something else is coming. Is there actually some type of Switch 2 presentation still coming? When, though? Like, when can they actually reveal this thing? Is it going to be tomorrow on Halloween? Could it be on Friday? You know, potentially. Maybe this weekend? I don't know. It just seems so strange. But also, if this was for Xenoblade, he probably would have taken this down by now. It's still up. His eye emojis are still in the bio, and his whole banner is still this alarmo clock. So it must be alluding to something. I still think it's some specific type of game, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I think that's our only real hope or inside hope right now from any type of insider, because he's the only one I trust, like literally the only one. And our other only last chance we have is the investors meeting. Maybe Nintendo goes to this investor meeting and they have some bad sales reports and they need to generate hype again. That's what they did at the Raw in May. They clearly needed to generate some type of hype because clearly they didn't have a lot to show off or talk about and their sales were plummeting. So they had to say, hey, Switch 2 is going to be revealed in the fiscal year, and also there's a Nintendo Direct in June. So I wonder if Nintendo's going to do something else very similar. Are they going to announce another Nintendo Direct, or are they going to announce we're going to be revealing Switch 2 at this such and such month and this such and such date? It could be our last chance, but I'm not betting on anything. I mean, the fact that they just threw out Xenoblade may be a sign that they're just trying to give investors something to be appreciative of because they don't have anything to reveal. You could also say if this is some sort of Twitter Direct and we're getting small announcements on Twitter for the rest of this week or maybe even part of next week, maybe that's exactly what they want to finish off with, is the reveal for Switch 2. And maybe it was actually planned to be in a Nintendo Direct or something like that. I don't know. It's so hard to say, but I've just mentally given up on this whole thing because it feels like a big round and round cycle where we start hearing rumors about a reveal happening soon, we start getting hype, we wait for the days, nothing happens, Nintendo reveals something else completely entirely, we're disappointed, and then a month later we hear the same thing. So I'm cutting it off here. I'm done with the rumors and leaks. I'm only listening to Piro, and I guess also Samus Hunter seems to know things as well. She entirely knew about Xenoblade Chronicles X coming to the Switch, and even tweeted out right before it was announced, everyone is eagerly awaiting the reveal of the Switch successor, but get ready because before its launch, Nintendo has many more titles planned for the first console. How did she know Xenoblade was about to be revealed like a day or two later? Well, someone said, like what? A little teasing? And she said this app itself is a teaser, obviously because the app's name is X, and she knew Xenoblade Chronicles X was going to be announced. So clearly there's more games that seem to be getting announced soon or something else happening real soon. Both Samus Hunter and Piro have been hinting at stuff still happening this week, so we're gonna have to wait and see what's next. But man, it looks like it is time to close the door on Switch 2, which means the next 2 months is going to be completely quiet. We'll once again start talking about it and bring up the hype again when we get into next year, but it looks like it is time to officially move on and just enjoy what we have right now until Nintendo officially makes a move. And look, I am so fine with the games that we have. My backlog is so full, yes, but I think it's just really a hype thing. Nintendo really hasn't had anything to be super hyped about in years, so it just feels kind of blah to be possibly going a whole nother year of just smaller scale games like ports, remakes, and remasters as we're waiting for the big stuff. But we're gonna have to wait and see what Nintendo's gonna do. Don't believe anybody, believe Nintendo. That's the message, and that's the lesson of the day. Yes, I am still getting ready to do my dare. In fact, it is starting tomorrow, so I should have a video for you guys the first week of November. Get ready, it's gonna be crazy. But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.